Good morning, good morning, good morning. Outside this morning, it's a cloud cover, but the air is fresh and the birds are chirping. Let's get into the word in Luke 14. And it came to pass, as he went into the house of one of the chief Pharisees to eat bread on Sabbath day, that they watched him. And behold, there was a certain man before him which had dropsy. And Jesus answering spoke unto the lawyers and the Pharisees, saying, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day? And they held their peace. And he took him and healed him and let him go, and answered them, saying, Which of you shall have an ass or an ox fallen into a pit, and will not straightway pull him out on the Sabbath day? And they could not answer him again to these things. And he put forth a parable to those which were biding, when he marked how they chose out the chief rooms, saying unto them. So let me read this again. Verse 7. He put forth a parable to those which were invited, when he noted how they chose out the best places, saying unto them, When thou art bidden, which would be invited, of any man to a wedding, sit not down in the highest room, in the best place, lest a more honorable man than thou be bidden of him. A more honorable man could be invited, and he that bade thee or invited thee, and him come and say to thee, Give this man place, and thou begin with shame to take the lowest room. So you invited to a wedding and you take the best of the place, thinking you like so high, and then somebody more honorable comes and they sit that person there, and you're embarrassed because you don't get the best of the seat. So in verse 10 it says, But when thou art bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room, that when he that bade thee cometh, he may say unto thee, Friend, go up higher. Then shalt thou worship in the presence of them that sit at meat with thee. For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, which would be, in other words, humbled. And he that humbled himself shall be exalted. James 4:6 and 1 Peter 5:5. Let's read James 4:6. James 4:6 says, "But he giveth more grace, wherefore he saith, God resisteth the proud, but giveth grace to the humble." 1 Peter 5:5. Let's look at 1 Peter 5:5. 1 Peter 5:5 says, "Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yeah, all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility. For God resisteth the proud, and giveth grace to the humble." In verse 6 it says, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time, casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour." And that was 1 Peter 5-8. So going back to Luke 14, verse 12. "Then said he also to him that bade him, When thou makest a dinner or a supper, call not thy friends, nor thy brethren, neither thy kinsmen, nor thy rich neighbors, lest they also bid thee again, and recompense be made thee." So, you invite your friends or your family, and you know how people tend to want to repay the favor, and so they invite you to their things too. "But when thou makest a feast, call the poor, the maimed, the lame, the blind, and thou shalt be blessed, for they cannot repay thee, for thou shalt be repaid at the resurrection of the just." "And when one of them that sat at meat with him heard these things, he said unto him, Blessed is he that shall eat bread in the kingdom of God." And that's Revelations 19:9. It referenced Revelations 19:9. So let's look at that. Revelations 19:9 said, "He saith unto me, Right, blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he saith unto me, These are the true sayings of God." So blessed are they who are invited to the marriage of the Lamb. "Then said he unto him," I'm in verse 16 of Luke. "Then said he unto him, A certain man made a great supper, and bade many, and sent his servant at supper time to say to them that were bidden, Come, for all things are now ready." So a certain man invited people to come and eat at the supper. It's ready. It's time. And they all, with one consent or one accord, began to make excuses. The first said unto him, I have bought a piece of ground, and I must needs to go and see it. I pray thee, have me excused. Another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I go to prove them, to test them. I pray thee have me excused. And another said, I have married a wife, therefore I cannot come. So that the servant came and showed his Lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, Go out quickly into the streets and lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor and the maimed and the lame and the blind. And the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, and yet there is room. And the Lord said unto the servant, Go out into the highways and hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. For I say unto you, that none of these men which were bidden shall taste of my supper. So the ones that were invited, they were too busy. But the poor, the ones that are living on the streets, under the bridges and everything, they had nothing to do. And they were invited. And surely they had nothing to do, and they need a meal. So what they gonna do? They gonna come. And those were invited to the Master's Supper. And there went great multitudes with him, and he turned and said unto them, If any man come to me, and hate not his father, and his mother, his wife, his children, his brother, his sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. And you know, I didn't used to understand that long ago, but now I kind of do, because God chose you first, and he also should be first in your life. And when he's first in your life, everything is made good, all things is well. It's like, do you trust him enough? Do you believe that enough? And so verse 27, and whosoever doeth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first, and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? So I'm going to stop right there, because I had another thought. When Jesus was doing the work of his Father, and he hadn't eaten, he was fasting and healing and things of such, doing the duty of the Father. And when his mother and his brothers can get to him, it was like, who is my mother? Who is my brother? But these who are doing the work of the Father. And, sometimes in the work of the Father, your mother, sister, brother, daughter, son can be a distraction, especially if they're not walking in the same path, and they're, walking after the things of the world. And so, but Jesus kept his focus on his Father's business. And later, the mother and brothers were then, coming into, they realized things. And because Jesus didn't stray away from what his Father's business was. So it's like, you get on board or you don't. But as it seemed as time went on, they came into agreement. Mary was there in the end. And so, just trust in God. Family, hopefully they'll eventually see. But do not stray away from your walk with God. And continue to read and stay encouraged.